Next tonight is a story about stories. The University of New Hampshire has begun an oral history project aimed at bringing us New Hampshire through the voices of its people. In fact, it's called New Hampshire Voices.
So it cost 20 cents to get into the movies, and I used to...
The value of the train, oh, it was great. They dropped off the paper every day, and if you wanted to get downtown...
These residents of Raymond, New Hampshire, gathered last fall at a local church for Nostalgia Night, a chance to share stories of life in their town, stories that would be recorded as part of a project of the University of New Hampshire. That project began on the road with UNH's Little Red Wagon.
We travel around the state quite a bit with our traveling theater program. And we hear people in small towns that to us seemingly have not changed in perhaps 100 years. But we hear the people there saying that they are feeling a sense of some kind of loss, whether it's loss of community or knowing who your neighbors are, that kind of thing.
Doug Tilton created the New Hampshire Voices program to help rekindle that sense of community and to preserve the most fragile part of history, personality.
Well, he said, I guess it was. He said, I wouldn't anymore get so jumping the lightning when I'd have to jump the thunder.
In nursing homes and living rooms, at libraries and church suppers, the UNH program has begun to bring communities together to tell their stories.
And going to school in those days, there was only one stove in the middle of the room, and the teacher used to have to revolve us, move us from nearest the stove, take the ones on the outside, keep us reasonably warm.
The major concern of the program, every time we talk about it, in any way we talk about it, is that people talk to each other. That as changes go on, that as new people move into a town, as old people go through changes, as generations change in New Hampshire, that there be some sense of continuity, that there be some sense of community, and there be some sense of communication.
I says, do you know how to fix them? He says, sure, I know how to fix them. Well, I said, how do you fix them then? He says, you put them on a chopping block, and they take an axe, and you hit them right square in the middle, he says, and throw both ends away. And you're all set.
Beyond his storytelling, Ellsworth Russell has a special voice to bring to the program. He is the moderator of the town of Eaton, New Hampshire, and he remembers town meetings of the past as well as the men who ran them.
He'd bang the gavel down at 10 o'clock, and that meant that everything started. And he'd no more get that warrant read before they'd start to arguing about some article that he hadn't brought up yet. I don't know how many gavels he broke, but quite a few.
While broken gavels are not as common today, town meetings are a part of life that has remained pretty much the same in Eaton since the first meeting there in 1784. But that is a matter of style. The content has changed.
The town will vote to oppose the burial, storage, transportation, and production of high-level radioactive waste in the town of Eaton and the state of...
Change has come to Eaton slowly and with a subtlety that has left the town looking much the same as it did 100 years ago. But although things look the same, they are not the same.
The homes were different, the livelihood was different, the way of learning, education was different, politics were different. Everyone was involved and intimately connected with what was going on. It was a family unit, and the families together as a grouping.
Shirley Blue knows a lot about family. Hers has been in Eaton since 1815, when her great-grandfather, Joseph Snow, settled there. His 10 children built Snow Village, beneath Snow Mountain, beside Snow Brook. Today, Snowville is a suburb of Eaton. Its mills, post office, and store have vanished. But Snows, including Shirley Blue's children and grandchildren, still live there. She contacted New Hampshire Voices so that the stories of today's town elders would not be lost.
It's important. I would give anything if I could see Joseph Snow and hear him tell about what it was like when he walked over from Gorham with his rifle and his bag of corn. I'd love to hear that and see him. I've heard about him, and I'd just like to see him in action. So I think it's special that some of these old-timers have wonderful stories.
Those stories are the heart of New Hampshire Voices, and, according to Susan Golden, at the heart of something much larger.
There's something underlying that holds us together, that's a center for all of us. And it's what New Hampshire's about. I don't know what you call it, but I know we want to preserve it. And what we find every time we talk to people is they have stories. And they have a love of their towns, and they have a love of the people.
In fact, I was on my way to school, I think, when it dawned on me that we were going to have the Halloween party that day. I never mentioned to my mother anything about a costume or donuts or anything else, so I had to think pretty fast. And I got to school, and everybody brought in all these things they were supposed to except me. And she said, "Wingate, what about the donuts and the costume?" And I said, "Well, I want to tell you about that, but it's a pretty sad thing that happened. I was coming down Long Hill Road. That's the same place that Dot used to slide, and it was dangerous on Long Hill Road for several reasons. I said, coming down Long Hill Road, Scud Lyman's dog. Scud was chief of police. But Scud Lyman's dog jumped right out of the bushes, knocked me right off my bicycle. Said, "Oh, my soul, it's a wonder you weren't hurt." And I said, "Well, I'm going to be okay. I'll get over it." And I said, "God only tore up my costume, but he ate all the donuts."